Welcome to
Morning.
Mayhem Monday. My gosh, my days are so off because of the holiday this week. Welcome to Wins and Lessons Friday. Today we're going to talk about what worked, what didn't, what flopped, and most importantly, what did we learn?
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
There's my man, Jeff. I knew he was going to come in first today.
Did he
I
come
just
in?
had a
Did he come
feeling.
in? Here we go.
I started it. Jeff.
Is
I
that who
love
you were
my friend.
texting just before the show?
Good. What's that?
Did you give Jeff a little heads up saying, "Hey, we're going live here"?
No. I had called
Okay.
Jeff out yesterday in the
Oh,
post. Who's that? Raquel shared that post. Thank you, Raquel, for that post, by the way. But so yeah, she shared a post about and shared our show, and I put it on. I think I called out
nice.
Jeff, so that was the wrong thing to do. Sorry.
So he woke up extra early. See, I thought Jeff just all of a sudden got some inside track info, like little insider
No,
trading information going on there.
no,
Jeff says back in the front row.
no trade secrets.
Lisa says, "Who got it yesterday?"
Yes, I love it. We're starting.
So who did get it yesterday? Yesterday was what? What was yesterday? Oh, yesterday was Thursday. Brian Byra was on.
Yeah, it was Lisa.
I
I'm
think
pretty sure.
Daman actually got it yesterday. Did he? No, James. Was it James that got it yesterday? I don't know. Somebody got it yesterday. I don't know who it
Yeah.
was. And I think we've
I think it
lost
was
track of
Lisa.
that because
I think it was
whoever
Lisa
won
yesterday.
this week is not on with us right now.
Next
So,
week I'm back at it. I love this.
yes.
Oh, I can't believe I started this. Yes, I love it.
So we've got a pretty good show for you this morning. So I just actually, as y'all see, they got a little ticker going at the
I
bottom of
like
the page
that.
here. Well, I just figured this one out this morning. So what I started doing is I started adding some of the best one-liners from our guests. So as you can see at the bottom, prescription without diagnosis is malpractice, and that was from
Yes,
Terry
sir.
Brock. Then we
Yeah.
had Brian yesterday talking about moving from being willing to being eager. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of
Love
just
it.
add these in every now and then for y'all, just to kind of give you a little hello and little high vibe for you first thing in the morning. So
Yes.
Mark Ridley is texting me right now saying, "I'll be there in spirit." I told him that we will be telling the audience that he selected golf over
Golf
talking
over
to
us.
y'all. Yeah, so make sure when you call him out in your post today that you actually call him out.
Go-
So I
Just
said,
make sure to hit him straight, Mark. Hit him straight, Mark.
yeah. Just swing hard just in case you hit it. We're really sinking to our brains. Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it, Lisa? I think it's pretty cool, this little ticker thing. And I wish I would have
It
known that
is. I
before.
like
But
that. Yeah,
hey,
let's
so
keep going.
wins and lessons Friday, DJ. Do you mind if I start?
No, man. Go ahead.
Okay.
Proud of
So
you.
for me this week, challenge changes you.
Mm,
And every time we face a challenge in life, we change, hopefully in a good way. I think if you dig deep enough, you will always see the good and the way the challenge changes you. Um, I think challenges have twofold. They either make us like almost implode in ourselves, or they light a fire under us that
yes.
conquers everything. And I'll explain more in the coming weeks for everybody where my mindset is with this, but it's I'm just not at the point to have the conversation yet. But it's interesting because if we pay attention to the challenges we face in a week, and let's face it, in logistics, there's not one week where we don't have challenges, y'all.
Tons of challenges every
Yeah,
week.
and
We know.
the the stuff we go through on a daily, even hourly basis. Um, I think if we truly start paying attention to what's happening, our mindset, our perspective, and week over week, day over day, month over month, year over year, I think if you started paying attention, you would realize that every challenge changes you in some which way, shape, or form. And perfect example is you have a huge issue with a customer, and there was a mentality or a mindset that you went into the order, call it, before the challenge, that changes that mindset for your next order. Do you see what I'm saying? And
Yep.
I think one thing that we do as humans, I know I'm very guilty of it, is I'm going to change this, and then I don't act with intention to remember why it changed. And some
Mhm.
things slip back into the old because it's what we were used to, right? I often refer to this when, and I'm sure most of you have heard the story, when I went to Golf Digest school and I learned a new, like, they pretty much ripped my golf swing apart.
Just destroyed it, yeah.
Just destroyed it, right? And it was
Everything. I gotta go to that real quick. When you're going through that, everything feels completely different when they're changing your swing like that, especially if you're doing it wrong. And so it's so hard. But to your point of the change, it's going through that change when it feels different. You want to go back.
well, and I believe we have to operate with intention, meaning like before it becomes a habit or before the new process is ingrained,
Mhm.
we have to be very intentional about it, like, and
Yes.
in your golf swing, so every single time you swing the club, depending on how you play, you're from 70 to 120 different swings every time you play, and it's intention with every single one, right? Like intention on your grip if your grips change, intention on your stance if your stances change, intention on your setup, intention on everything. And I don't believe we put enough attention to that in our careers, in our
Mm.
lives. Never mind careers, in our personal life and everything. Brian said it, and it's been ringing in my ear since Brian said it yesterday. Who are those that we, in essence, who are those that we treat the worst,
Mm.
right? And it's customers often move, and this is a big thing in our industry. You get a new customer, you're like all over them like a fat kid on a Smartie, right? Like
Oh
you're
yeah.
just like you're all over them. And you need this, you need that, and then eventually you get more customers come in the door, and they kind of, and it almost seems like a hierarchy. So now you're spending more time with the old customer or the new customer. The old customers feel like they're just another number, right? So intentionally, how are we as high performers going to keep, and it's a job in itself, keeping
Yes,
our
it is.
customers all feeling like they're number one, right? For
Mhm.
lack of a better term. But
Yeah.
again, the lesson for me this week, clearer than a crisp blue sky, is every challenge changes us, and it's how we. Oh, Mr. Ridley is on, so he can't come on with us, but he can come on and comment on us before we speak. I see how
Oh,
that goes.
Dan just
So,
noticed that. I wasn't gonna
oh,
say
dude,
anything.
Mr. Ridley, you're about to be torn apart. Give me 1 second here, brother. So, the challenge that we go through changes us. It either
Mhm.
implodes us or it lights a fire under us. And
I
the
love that.
question becomes, which one are you going to let win?
Hmm.
Because it comes down to mindset, right? And I know you're
Absolutely.
looking at the notes, the comments here. So,
Oh yeah,
Um,
take a look.
Jeff says, I've never had a loss. As I see it differently, a loss is a win because you learn something, which is platinum.
Yes,
100%, right?
absolutely. That's why it's
100%. There
wins and
are no
lessons, not
losses.
wins and losses. Listen,
Yes,
those challenges are either an obstacle, prohibition, or an inhibition. But either way, yeah, something's holding us back.
100%. We are conditioned to have the mental strength to be resilient to our challenges, especially in logistics. We have to embrace challenges like like
Yeah,
Jeff said, pretty much.
yeah,
So here's
agree.
Mr. Ridley. Sorry you can't be there, boys. I can't be there to annoy you. No, I mean, you know what, Mark? Here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
We love you, brother, but
We
you
love
did
you.
choose golf over your friends and family today, and
Oh,
you know.
don't give him the guilt trip. Don't. He was. It was a half hour golf, or I mean, a half hour show with us, or 3
Yeah.
hours
No,
of
no, but
golf.
here's the thing. He only tees off at 10. So he's got to get the warm-up rounds in to warm himself
That's
up.
right.
So I said, well, just
Exactly.
get 30 minutes
Exactly.
of warm-up in. It's all good. You
Well,
can still make it happen.
listen, teeing off at 10, he probably said he had started golfing at 9, or had to be there at 9 or 8:30.
Exactly. Retention effort systems must be in place. 100%. 100%. And Maggie says, pay attention to intention. Yes,
That's a
100%.
good one.
Um, that for me is pretty much the win and the lesson this week.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's interesting, DJ, and as we progress through our career, as we build new products, new services, meet new people, engage with new people. um it's it's interesting, and it's becoming more and more prevalent how one thought can completely destroy an entire day's productivity. One
Ooh,
thought,
ooh, yes, yes, sir.
right? And if you don't check yourself, and I know this is going to sound so corny, you're going to wreck yourself,
Check
right?
yourself before you wreck yourself.
I can't believe it just came out. But I guess
I love it, though. That was perfect. That was perfect.
so it's funny. I in my truck, because it's new. I get like Sirius XM for I don't know however many months, and for some reason
Yeah.
my Apple CarPlay wasn't working, so I just hit a button on Sirius, and it was CNC Music Factory. You're gonna sweat till you bleed or something. There was, but it was like, oh my gosh, this brings me back to my childhood. Like, yeah, I mean, I just cranked it up, and I was like, yeah, you jam it out.
Yes. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
That music, we just, when we were cruising on the trip for the wedding, we were listening to old school stuff too. It was fun.
yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just cool to bring it back, right? But
It is.
so yeah, it's interesting because if we don't check our thoughts. There's a LinkedIn user here that says, yes, where the mind goes, the body follows.
I think that's
100%.
Shaylin, actually.
Oh, is
Lisa.
that Shay? Because I
Yeah.
don't
What's
see
up,
Shaylin.
Shay?
How are you? Good.
Yes. We're gonna have him
Jeff,
back on.
welcome.
We're gonna
Hey,
have
how are
him back
you?
on.
DJ Dan. Shaylin Dixon. Love it. Yes. Shaylin, it only comes up as LinkedIn user. See this
Yeah,
here?
it's weird. It's
So I don't
crazy.
know. I don't know what that is, but welcome. So glad you're here to join us. Yeah. So that's really the big thing for me this week is really tuning into that mental side. Um, I think it's more important than ever because let's face it, we come into the office. A lot of the times we come into the office to a whirlwind of stuff,
Mm,
right? We have, and
mm.
especially now, everybody's starting to go back to offices, and it's like now you have colleagues, you have teams, you have all these things happening very quickly in the mornings, right? Trucks not showing up, trucks showing up too early. We talked about that on Tuesday. It's like
Yeah.
no matter which way you go. And it's very easy if you lose the intention of what the objective is for the day, the goal for the day, the mission, the ambition, the
Mm.
desire, the achievement for the day. It's very easy to lose direction in our industry. And
100.
maybe I'm biased, DJ, because I've never been in any other industry, but I don't think there's any other industry that moves as fast as we do, right? Where things can be
I will
really
agree with
good and
yeah.
then really bad. Like 30 seconds later, it could
Yes.
be devastating to the long term relationship. Where
I've been in
I'm
a lot
not,
of industries. I can tell you, this
okay.
industry, there is nothing like it. You could go from, you feel like you're celebrating, to all of a sudden your head's on fire and the whole building's on fire and you're running around like, oh no, what to do. I
Yeah.
mean, and
So you move from like campfire to
a
five
second.
alarm blaze in seconds, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeff says, if you quote, my quote, if your dreams do not scare you, they're not big enough.
Oh, I like that.
Jeff, Bob Proctor shared that with me probably 17 years ago. I remember him saying, he goes, Dan, if I wake up in the morning and I turn over and I put my feet down on the floor on the side of my bed, and if I'm not scared to death of my goal, he goes, I know it's not the right one. And I remember when I first heard that because I'm like, dude, you want me to be scared every day? Like, I thought this whole success thing was more of a like I can go play
Yeah,
golf
I
5
thought there
days
was
a
an
week and
easy,
not worry
like a
about a thing.
cruise. I thought there was a cruise in this. What's this? Yeah,
Yeah,
but Jeff, you are right. I
yeah,
feel that way.
100%. Yeah.
And that's what
Well,
motivates me. That's what gets me excited is my crazy big dreams. But yes, it is scary at the same time. So yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's Shaylin back. Hey guys, so happy to catch up you on.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Scott says it's their individual security settings. It won't show the name. Oh, okay, okay. That's why. Okay. No big deal. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
so
Thank you.
that's kind of where I'm at, DJ. Where are you at, brother? What's happening with you, man?
Man, so I'll tell you. So great share, and we again as usual. I think the more I'm realizing we might be the same person in two. You're just me in Canada, and I'm here or something. But this week, I don't know if it was the short week, the vacation, what it was, but I was just not on this week at all. But yesterday, Brian's show and some of the stuff he said, especially. Uh, Yes, that. Especially that. About being present. It was I was like you, thinking well, so Monday was big. So Monday, I guess I'll say, 4th of July started with a bang. No pun intended, but got offered those two ladies equity deal to kind of partner with them on that luxury furniture out of Turkey. So I was like, wow, okay, this could be fun. And I think, but then at the same time, I think that sent me into this overwhelm, like, oh my gosh, I have this and this and this and this. What am I doing? And then it was like, yeah. So kind
Meaning
of
like you feel like you're kind of you don't have a direction, but yet
at that point, yes, at that
yeah.
point, and that's what threw me in a loop for this week. And so wasn't doing my was more waking up, doing my meditation and not the exercise. Definitely needed that. So going and doing the bike ride this morning was huge relief and kind of like, okay, this is what I was missing. But yeah, it was this week just off. This week was off, but it was started with the, like I said, the bang, and then it was, oh man, what am I doing? So
Well, we talked about that. When did we talk about that? I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, where we said, it's funny how these short weeks just like throw you off.
oh,
Like even I said to Christine yesterday, I'm like, today's Wednesday, right? She's like, no, it's Thursday. And I'm like, damn, I lost a whole day. It's like, it's like, it's like, it's crazy how it's just, and then you try and pack so much in. And this is when we feel at the end of the day, like
mm,
nothing's been accomplished because
mm,
you're trying to pack so much in. And I don't know about you, but every morning when I set up my agenda, I probably have triple the output that I'm ever capable of because it's like Jeff said, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And when I look at
yeah.
my day, if I'm not scared about how much I need to accomplish, and maybe I'm taking it to the next level that it doesn't need to be taken to,
Well,
and
I'll tell you too where you're going with that. You gave great advice on that I took, and that really helped me this week. So I looked at my schedule and was like, oh man, what am I doing? Like I'm trying to cram all this in just because there's 4 days instead of 5 days. Why am I doing this? So I really just opened up the schedule and opened up that 15-minute block, like you said. So instead of the hour of punching and just going, giving myself that 15 minutes, holy cow. That released a lot of the anxiety, I guess you
mhm,
can get from just feeling like you're behind the eight ball. But yeah.
mhm. Yeah, and you know what? That's where obviously prioritizing and having that schedule that can prioritize comes into place, right?
Hmm.
Speaking of prioritizing, DJ, let's talk about the lane of the day and week in review.
Yes.
Yeah, that button didn't click quite as fast as I, I wanted it to. It's funny
There's a
because
little delay. So
yeah,
I dealt with it on Wednesday, and I was like, okay, I see what Dan's
you
talking about
know,
now. You hit that button, nothing happens. And so
you're
yeah.
kind of like this. You're like, Is something gonna happen? You know what? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like the news reports when they're like, "Back to you, DJ."
Yeah.
They're just standing
Come
there.
on,
It's like,
switch.
yeah. And in their eyes, they're going, "Switch it, motherfucker! Switch it! Switch it! Switch it! Turn it up!" Right? And you could just see because for that first second, it's like, stay classy,
Yeah,
San Diego. And
exactly.
and then they totally lose the Ron Burgundy feel, and it's like,
Yeah,
but
then it's
yeah,
like, okay, come on.
yeah, and there's that delay, and I feel it's like right at that point where you're like,
Yeah, is it
and especially
delayed?
when we end the show too, when we're playing the video at the end, it's like when I hit end, it's like I'm watching that scene for it to say this is ended, and sometimes it just comes back for that split second, and you see like everybody sitting
Yeah,
there going, like, cameras are off, become somebody else. But anyway,
it's so funny.
here is the lane of the day, my friends. So we are going to do a quick week in review. The two things that we're going to talk about this week are both dry vans. They're actually lane of the day, week in review. Okay, so week in review, dry van rate per mile line haul across North America is $1.99 on average. It stayed flat week over week, so it hasn't changed week over week. And line haul year over year is plus 4 cents. All in rate per mile on average across the board is $2.73. Spot rates typically head south for the summer immediately after July 4th. This week they held steady at just under $2 a mile. So we are seeing a little bit of a shift in that part of the overall market, where typically there is a fall off at the end of after 4th of July.
Something a little bit longer, maybe
Well, I mean,
delayed.
you know what I found really interesting about your conversation on Wednesday was how many hot dogs are consumed. And
Right?
if you think of how many hot dogs go in a truck, and then you look at the amount of hot dog, Dean was talking like 6 billion hot dogs or something, which is like 70 hot dogs per
Yeah,
person
it was
in
70
North
hot
America.
dogs per person. That's
Yeah. I mean, I know I don't eat 70 hot dogs a year.
No, I don't either.
That's given. But and if I don't, you don't, that means somebody else is eating like 150. And which is just like, that's a lot of lips and assholes to eat, let me tell you.
Put down the hot dogs.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at it and you say, okay, so the week after July 4th, where typically things fall off, we're talking like a year over year change of 4 cents, and rates are flat. So that says something about shipping patterns and all that.
Yeah.
The lane of the day today is Allentown, PA to Boston. So we're talking $4.28 a mile, $5.02 fuel in. Contracted rates are at $5.58 a mile. So we're talking 56 cents more than spot rates or contracted rates.
Wow.
Year over year, it's actually down 34 cents. So it's interesting because when we speak to a lot of people, they say, oh, my rates are double and tripled from what they were last year. But if you look, if you go back and since we started doing the lane of the day, year over year, rates are down.
Mm-hmm.
But yet a lot of people are saying rates are doubled. So it's interesting. Even though spot rates are down 34 cents year over year, they have increased up 26 cents a mile in the first week of July. Allentown is a large e-commerce warehouse market that services Northeast and overnight deliveries. Capacity is tightening ahead of Amazon's Prime Day on July 12th and 13th. And you know what? I'm actually really excited to get some of the data because Dean's coming in on July 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of have that one day, and then I'm hoping by the 20th we can sit down and talk about what Prime Day did, because it doesn't not blow everyone away how one company has so much buying power that it can literally alter the market based on 2 days of specials. Like, would you ever think we'd be in that position? Like, crazy.
No, it's crazy. It is crazy. It's insane.
Yeah,
it really is insane.
it's just, yeah, I know. Oh, Shay says love the visuals. Yeah, we got some videos going in this mofo.
Yeah. If you guys are just catching the podcast, you don't know what you're missing out. You got to go to YouTube and watch the videos or watch this live.
Yeah.
You know what you're gonna see. No, just kidding.
Yeah, definitely. We got Mayhem Monday coming up on Monday, so where we pick the topic live on air. So,
That's right.
DJ,
Yes.
as we go through this and as we kind of position ourselves for this week, um, what's the lesson you learned from hitting those obstacles?
Yeah, so it's really well here. So I'm glad you actually went back to that. The change. So so this was from a trip. I don't even know if Mags knows that I have this, but I found this shell, and it's just totally jacked up, but it's like the thickest, biggest shell, but it is, you could see, I mean, it's taken a beating. And I keep it on my desk. To me, for me, it resembles me. It's going through all of the risk, the the changes, the obstacles, the abuse, the beatings, the everything of living this crazy high achiever lifestyle, uh, but still making it. You got,
Mm,
you might be broken, you might have some rough edges, you might be, but this huge shell still made it, and that's, that's the thing. You'll make it. Just keep going. You can't give up, and that's really the biggest thing I learned was, you wake up and you get another day. Don't waste it.
that's good. And you know what's interesting? You've known that for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that continuous little conversation we have with ourselves that keeps it going,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then when we stop having the conversations with ourselves, that's when we typically start to wane and
bingo.
shift. And I mean, let's not be rose-colored glasses, right? Things happen, bad things happen,
Hmm.
very challenging things happen, and it's how we respond, not react, respond to the
Bingo.
situations
Yep.
that matter.
Yeah.
And all I could share is with all of you, if you do not have some kind of program in place, some kind of structure in place to make sure to stay ahead of the change curve with your clients, I think you're losing.
Hmm.
I really do. And, because if challenges change us, challenges change our clients.
Absolutely.
And one thing this week has the lesson it's really taught me is try and understand the challenges other people are going through. Because then
Yes.
if we can try and understand it and see how it's changing them, we can help them stay ahead of their change curve as well.
Mm, mm.
And if we think about this, DJ, like you remember like John coming in 60% more stuff, Greg coming in, spending 20 hours a week off work hours doing
Extra,
stuff.
not paid.
Tony talking about how much crap he goes through during the day and how
Hmm.
people above him, and you know truly understanding your prospects and customers challenges and asking the question, how did that challenge or solving that, what was the opportunity it gave you? What changed? Like, did you change the way you do things in the office? And a challenge and a change could be something as simple as, oh my God, we need to put a process in place so we don't miss that email, right? That's
Yeah.
a challenge. You miss an email, you miss a load. It changes us. It changes our process. Maybe it changes the way we look at things. Maybe changes the way we read things. Maybe you know what I mean? So this
Yeah.
change can be microscopic or it could be huge, huge. You know what I mean? Just as you know it, Dan. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's like how how do we? I mean, obviously, let's call a spade, DJ. We have to accept that we're going to have challenges every single day, and
Every day.
whether they be
We.
small, large. I think that word challenge is like, I use the word challenge for something as small as, hey, you missed a load. How do we better monitor emails? That's a challenge that we
Mm.
have to solve, right? So when I say challenge, I don't mean catastrophic issues, but every day, every hour, hell, every minute, some days it feels like,
Yeah, you never know what the next few minutes could. Yeah, exactly. And I think you nailed it. I mean, and that was kind of where I had to myself. It was that snap. It was, am I reacting to this stuff, or am I responding? And I was reacting to the first few days. Why am I doing this? Like,
Mhm.
slow down, get it back,
Yeah.
and start responding. Yeah, gaps. Yeah,
Hmm. Lisa says it so well right there. Gaps.
gaps. Yeah,
Bridge the gaps in
just
your
fill it
business.
in. Fill it in.
Mm,
I love
that's
it.
a good one. I love it. So Did
You
your
nailed the quote. I'm so glad you stayed on change. And that was, I don't know why, but I guess it was for both of us this week. But and maybe anybody who is watching, change might be hard, change might be needed, but there's always, if you respond instead of react, you always end up better. But thank you everybody
I
for
always
joining us.
remember the Shrek quote. Change is good, donkey. Change is good. That was a horrible Shrek
Yes.
imitation, but
Oh, I love Shrek. That's
yeah.
so funny. So thank you everybody for joining us as you do weekly. For all the comments, for just making this possible. Thank you to American Logistics, Centurion Trucking, Daman, shout out, People of Profits. Dan, as always, thank you for
Thank you,
making this
brother.
possible, my friend. And so my quote to take us out this week, again, Sales Chatter Live, 9 a.m. till 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Start your day right with us. Get motivated, get in the right mindset, be ready for change, learn to respond, not react. Albert Einstein.
Oh, good one.
See, here's the thing. I know I'm going deep with this, but I think we need to break down these smart guys' quotes to really more relevant. They keep you confused. And this is one of them, I think. But I love this, and it's about change. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change.
I love that because you know what? When we're bull-nosed and we're not willing to change or adopt to a situation, that that comment, that quote brings me back to
Right?
one of the tapes when I was listening to Napoleon Hill.
Mm,
And I think this will be very big for everyone. So for those of you that don't follow Napoleon Hill or haven't read Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill's son Blair was born without ears.
mhm.
And the doctor said he's never going to hear again. And Napoleon Hill said, no, that's not happening. He is going to hear again no matter what. And in Napoleon Hill's own words, he says in a couple of audios that I have, he says, I'm at the hospital. A doctor puts his arm around me. He says, listen here, Napoleon, sometimes in life things happen and we can't do anything about it. And he said, no, doctor, that's not the case. I can do something about everything that happens, even if it's as simple as not letting it break my spirit.
Yes.
Pay attention to that, because
Yes.
that is probably one of the most profound things you will ever hear, no matter what happens in life. Bend, don't break. Don't
Yes.
break your spirit, because once your spirit's broken,
That's it.
you've severed from reality, and that's not good. But and I mean, listen, we all go through severe things, right? I think we've all been through a lot in life, no matter where we are in life, and there's still more to come.
Yeah.
But we're always able to change the outcome, at least if it doesn't break our spirit.
That's right.
Like Brian talked about yesterday, control the controllables.
Yeah.
Controllable is your spirit. The way
Mhm.
things are going, what's happening, other people's responses, like none of it's controllable. But your spirit is very controllable.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Jeff says, so.
Scott.
Oh, this is a good one, actually. Scott says,
Yeah.
I heard one of Trey Griggs' quotes: consistency before intensity. Nice.
Yes.
Keep grinding. Jeff says, have a great weekend. Bring on Monday. Go after it, whatever it may be. That a boy, brother.
Yes.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a great weekend, y'all.
Centurion Trucking, our motto is people before profit. Today's market requires more transparency, consistency, and focus on what our clients need to win. Centurion Trucking and American Logistics are poised to help their clients achieve and surpass their targets. If you're looking for